Welcome to Bella's Guidance. I am your host, Auntie Bella, a psychic shaman, spiritual guide, and mentor, as well as your favorite holistic healer. With your permission, I'd like to guide and steer and propel you, the chosen few, along your spiritual journey and many awakenings by sharing ways to heal mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. All while realizing it's okay not to be perfect. You weren't created to be perfect, love. You were created to be the best version of you. With that being said, let's get into today's message. And the title of today's message is, You Can Be a Great Parent with Flaws. So, you can be a great parent with flaws. So let's get into it. Collective. My first question for you today is, who taught you that you need to be a perfect parent to raise independent, self-sufficient, balanced, and healed children? I'm going to ask you this again. Who taught you that you need to be a perfect parent to raise independent, self-sufficient, balanced, and healed children? So just think about it. Some of you out there might not have experienced this yet, but for those that I'm speaking to directly, you're parents, you have children, and someone judged you at some point. It didn't have to be your parents. It didn't even have to be a guardian. But at somewhere along your journey while you were raising your children, okay, speaking directly to those parents, those aunties that have been stepping in to parent, whoever is parenting out there, who made you feel bad about it, okay? Who rejected your parenting, okay? And what were you doing when this parenting type was rejected, okay? And were you doing what the child was needing? Were the child's needs getting met and you triggered someone? Or were you doing something detrimental to that child's health in some type of way? 9 times out of 10, you were parenting that child the way that you felt you should meet their needs, and you triggered someone else's wound. And what we get caught up in doing is we want to call out somebody else's parenting style because we don't know what that child needs more than that parent does. And we have to be careful with that, because then we start showing everybody our wounds when we try to call out someone else's type of parenting. Okay? Unless you're witnessing someone else abusing their child, okay, in some kind of way, or demeaning or belittling their child in some type of way, it's not really our place to tell a parent how to parent their children. Even if it's something we wouldn't do, if that makes sense, okay? Because everybody's child is different and everybody's child's needs are different. So you can't expect somebody to parent their child the way you parent yours. Their child might have a different love language, and we're going to talk about that today. So, how do you speak your child's love language, and are you absolutely sure you're speaking it? So first of all, you can raise a child and be imperfect. I'm a parent that curses, okay? I love to express myself in all ways. My kids know I curse. I tell my kids, if you want to curse, you're going to pay some bills in my house. My kids can't pay no bills yet. So whenever they start paying bills, you can say whatever you want respectfully in my house, okay? In your room where I can't hear you. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot do nothing up in here and be acting like an adult if you're not doing adult things. You're not paying your own bills. You're not buying your own clothes, your own shoes. Okay. You paying rent. Okay. Let's talk like adults around here. Okay. Cause I know I obviously have another adult in my house. Nobody's paying bills in there but me though. So you're in a child's place. That's how I parent in my house. Yes, if I'm cursing, I have to set boundaries with cursing in my house. Some people might not agree with that. There's parents out there that might be like, you're okay with your child cursing as long as they pay the bill. That's my rule. Yes, that's my rule, and I stand on it, okay? So, but that might not be something you want to do in your home, but that's my household, okay? But I'm just speaking to the wound, okay? If that's triggering you, who told you can't curse in front of your children? Who told you that cursing makes you a bad person? Who told you that cursing was unprofessional and that you need to that it's not okay for you to speak that way in front of your children. Most of the people that curse are very intellectual. Go and look into that and lean into that. Okay. You being expressive of your emotions and your feelings is actually you opening your sacral chakra. Let's lean into that. When you tell somebody to stifle how they feel and not speak their truth, you're blocking their throat chakra. Okay? So if you have a child in your home and you're consistently telling your child that they cannot speak their truth, okay, yes, tactfully, respectfully, you are blocking their chakras. But nobody wants to speak to the spiritual side of that. I'm speaking to the spiritual side of that today. Okay? This is because I'm sharing with you what's going on in my household. Okay. So how do you speak your child's love language, and are you absolutely sure you're speaking it? Okay. And how would you know if you're speaking your child's love language? You're going to know by their response to you. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples of love languages. So some of your children might feel like they need to hear you affirm what they need. So every once in a while, you might have that child that's like, I did a good job. So they might want you to praise them whenever they do a good job. This is words of affirmation. Your child might need to hear you say, you did a great job today. I'll give you an example about my daughter. My daughter, I call her Bree. Whenever she does something good, or specifically whenever she was potty training, she would sit on the potty, and when she would go potty, we would cheer. Yay, good job. We would run around the house, and I would get real extra around the house, and I would be screaming to the top of my lungs, woo! Okay, I would be rooting for that girl every time she got on the potty. So if I forgot to root for her when she went potty, okay, and she would go push her little Elmo button, and the toilet would fake flush for her, and then she'd be coming around the corner like, why aren't you celebrating, mommy? What's your problem? So I'd be like, whoa, go Bree. Like I had to make sure I kept meeting her love language. That was her need. She was like, well, mommy, you did start cheering for me, and I really like that. Continue. Like your kids will do that, but you have to be hearing them. You have to understand them. You have to know, like, okay, I'm not just listening to a child tell me to cheer for them. I'm hearing her say my love language is words of affirmation. I need to hear that my mommy's proud of me and that my mommy loves me. I need to hear that sometimes, okay? That's my child's love language, words of affirmation. She also likes one-on-one time. So some of your children are going to want to spend time together. So it's like, she likes to be outdoors. So I'll give you another example. She likes to be outdoors. She likes to play outside. Okay. So when we go outside, she doesn't just want to play outside by herself. Mommy, I want you to come outside with me, and I want to have one-on-one time with you. So some of your children's love language is going to be met by you giving them quality time. She needs quality time and words of affirmation. Brianna needs mommy's full attention, not when mommy's working and then talking and then working, and no. I need all of your undivided attention, and I want you to affirm that you love me and you're proud of me. That's my daughter's language. Okay? I also have a son. He doesn't need all of that attention because I have a little introvert and I have an extrovert. Brianna's my extrovert. Jaden is my introvert. He doesn't require as much, but when I spend time with him, it needs to be undivided attention. I cannot be on my phone. I can't be texting people. I can't be playing. If I sit with him, I need to be with him in the moment. That's how he gets his time. If I'm playing with him, I need to be in the moment. I can't be talking to 50 people and him. That's how he gets his time. Oh, mommy loves me because the 10 minutes we spent together playing the video game, she was focused on me. She wasn't talking to dad. She was on the phone with her best friend. She was talking directly to me. My love language has been met today. Now I want to go in my room. He's an introvert, but I met his needs. That's what you need to make sure you're doing. You need to stop worrying about if you're doing it perfectly. You just need to make sure you're doing it. Period. Okay? Now, if I was not, I've seen the other side of that. When I sat with him, and this is how you learn. When I sat with him and I was giving him the time he needed one day, and I got on my phone and I started texting somebody, he's like, oh, there you go on the phone. I said, bingo. That was a boundary. Mommy, don't talk on the phone when you're spending time with me. I threw that fucking phone that day. Okay? Because you need to know that when your child needs you to do something a certain way, it's not about them being selfish. It's not about them being whiny. It's not about them being a brat. They're teaching you how to love them. It doesn't matter how imperfect it is. I could be sitting there talking like I don't have any sense, but I'm giving him my undivided attention. Okay? That's exactly what he asked me to do. He asked me to sit my damn phone down. So guess where that phone's going? It's going in the corner, or it's going to go in another room so he can know, he can trust me. He can talk to me when he needs to, or he can spend time with me, and I'm not going to put him aside for my phone or whatever electronic or anything else, a person that's close by. He wanted my undivided attention. He got it. Brianna wanted my undivided attention. I put my work down and I played with her. I pushed her on the swing. That's what she wanted. She wanted me to tell her, good job. She got a good job. She got a cheer. I ran through the house. You understand what I'm saying? Speak your child's language and stop worrying about doing it perfectly. Okay? Now, I'll give you another example. But what I wanted to share with you, first of all, is do not allow the way your parents raised you to affect the way you raise your children. So I'm going to give you a personal example about me. There's some things that my parents did to me as a child that I was like, hell no. And I know I got some people out there that are probably like, oh, don't bash your parents. It's not about bashing. It's about being aware. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're not aware, then you continue to bring generational curses on to the next generation. It's about being self-aware here. We're calling it out so we don't continue to do what we didn't like. Okay? That's what I'm doing here. Nobody's bashing. This is calling it out and putting it on the carpet so we don't continue to cycle. Okay? So there's some things that my parents did I don't agree with. Okay? I'll just talk about abuse for a second here. Now, physical abuse, I do not agree with it. Okay, I know exactly how to speak to my child when I want to give my child's attention. I know exactly what I need to take away from my child when I need to give my child's attention. I do not have to physically beat on my child to get my child's attention, so I do not agree with it. That was done to me. I've had a high heel shoe in my arm. Okay, I've had a belt wrapped around my arm with a buckle. Okay, I've had all kind of bruising on me before. I've had all kind of scars on my arms. Okay, I've been put in situations where I was not safe. Okay. I was molested and my family knew about it. Okay. Somebody tried to rape me and my family knew about it. Okay. I did not feel safe. So I'm not going to raise children in that kind of environment. Do you understand? There's things that your parents did that you do not have to continue. If your parents did things you do not approve of, why are you doing those things with your children? Nobody's bashing you. But why are you continuing to do it? That makes you an imperfect parent because you didn't like it when somebody did it to you. Why are you bringing it into your household? Stop belittling yourself with comments like, well, I survived it, so they can survive it too. Why are you invalidating your feelings, first of all? You got enough enemies out there in the world to do that for you, okay? You have plenty of people out there to be like, oh, you're wrong for that. Don't do that to yourself. If you didn't like the way your mother used to beat you with the belt buckle or she made you go outside and get a switch or extension cord, then that's your prerogative. That's some shit you might not want to bring into your household. That is your decision as a parent. No one should have to survive their parents. That's not okay. What we're trying to do here is break the generational curse so we can become more aware of what not to do with with our children. It's about evolution. It's about evolving. It's about growth. It's about healing so we can be more aware of what's not working. Okay? That's what we need to be doing and focusing on is shifting so we can grow as a collective. Okay? Stop getting caught up in the fact that you're not parenting perfectly. Focus on, am I meeting my child's needs? Am I speaking their love language? Do they know they can trust me to show up? If so, you're a damn good parent. Fuck the rest of that. Fuck what everybody else is thinking about you parenting. Are you meeting that child's needs? Yes or no? If you are, then why do you give a damn what anybody else thinks? I don't. I used to, and I don't give a damn anymore because guess what? When I'm with those kids know I am 10 toes down for them. And if somebody's messing with them, I'm coming like a freight train. Okay? So as long as you aren't hurting yourself or your child and your way of parenting isn't going to land your child in jail or to their own demise, you're probably going in the right direction. Trust, you do not want to look back one day and say, damn, I wish I would have done better by my children. If I had spent a little bit more time with her, she'd know she didn't have to fight for attention. If I spent a little bit more time with him, he'd know he had a lot more to offer than his body. Y'all know I'm speaking the truth. Stop worrying about how perfect you parent and just make sure you're parenting at your child's level. Okay? you're speaking their language and their needs are being met, then you did it right. Okay? Most of the people who are attacking your parenting, they don't feel safe to parent the way you do because they're not allowing themselves to parent in a way that makes sense to them. They're energetically aligning themselves with societal norms. And who told society they knew how to parent your child? They haven't even spent 5 minutes with your child. How are they going to come in your house and tell you what your child needs? Exactly. So everyone's children are different, and the worst thing you can do to your child is speak another child's language to them. That would be more like you doing the equivalent of speaking Spanish to a child that speaks English. No bueno. Okay, your child's going to be sitting there looking at you like, who the hell is she talking to and what is she talking about? Okay, you're going to completely miss them. So drop the perfect parenting and speak your child's language, which will lead to you meeting their needs altogether because now you're listening, you're understanding, you're learning, and you're growing with them. Stop giving a fuck about the rest. And that's my little 2 cents today, guys. It's your girl Bella, keeping it 100 as always. I love you all to the moon. Until next time, talk soon. Bye.